Good day everyone, I am Klent Batoy, a grade 11 student, and for today's video we will discuss about some example of domain and range. First, I want student viewers to enjoy and understand and learn what is domain and range. Then students will be able to define or know the difference of domain and range. And lastly, for them to learn about domain and range and the following example of this application. So, do you have any idea what is domain is?
Domain.
Domain is the first set of a number and also set of its possible inputs and the value of x. How about the range? Do you have any idea what is range is? Range is the second set of a number, the set of its possible outputs and also the value of y. So the first example of our domain and range of the table of values. As I said earlier, this is x, which is our domain, and this is y is our range. So the first number we write is negative 7, while the given of the table value starts with -3. Why is that so? Why is it -7? Because if we are talking about negative, the biggest number of negative is the smallest number. Okay, so that's why it's -7, -5, -3, 8, and 9. So how about the range? Why is it -8 first when the given number is -2? Because who is the smallest of them? Among them, diba, it's -8. So that's why it's -8, -3, -2, 4, and 7. So that's how you're gonna arrange the domain and range of the table of values. So our second example of our domain and range is ordered pairs. Do you have any idea what is ordered pair is? Ordered pairs represents the function of the domain and range. They will always consist of two numbers that are paired to one another. For example, there's 1, -3, -2, -4, 3, 6, -5, and -1. So on these these numbers, where is the domain is? So our domain numbers here is the first numbers. So the first numbers is 1, -2, 3, and -5. So all you need to do is just arrange it just like on this example. You need to arrange it. But here, as I said earlier, when it comes to negative, the biggest number of negative is the smallest, right? So that's why it's -5 first, and then -2, and then so on, 1, 3. It comes to positive na 1, 3, di ba? Now, so -5, di ba? The first numbers, di ba? -5, -2, and 1, 3. Okay. So how about the range? The range numbers is the second numbers. Okay, second numbers. So there's there's 3, -3, 4, 6, and -1. And so you're gonna arrange it just on this. So what's the negative, the smallest? It's -3, right? Negative 3. So -3, -1, and then so on, 4 and 6. Okay, so what if our ordered pairs are all positive? Do we still need to arrange it? Of course, we still need to arrange it, but the arrangement will be more easy. We will just write the smallest to highest number. So here we have 2, 3, 5, 9, 6, 7, 7, 2, 8, and 9. So all you're gonna need to do is just arrange it to smallest to biggest. The domain number is the first number is right 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the arrangement is so obviously 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's so simple, right? And the range, the second numbers is 3, 9, 7 to 10. So you just need to arrange it. So 2, 3, 7, 9, 10. Okay? So that's how you're gonna find the domain and range on the ordered pairs. The next sample is graph. In this example, are we using now a graph? The question is how to do we find the domain and range. Okay, so first the domain of the graph is horizontal, which is the value of x, while the range is in vertical line, which is our value. So now that we already know where so now that we already know the x and y values and how to find our domain and range. So in this example, the domain of the graph is -6 and -1. When the circle dots are shaded, that means they are counted or being part of the solution. Therefore, x such than x is greater than or equal to -6, but x is less than or equal to -1. This is how you're gonna do it. So if you going to find the domain, which is the horizontal, the value of x, all you need is just focus on this horizontal. Well, you guys thinking, why is it -6 and -1, but the dot is pointing on 5? So here's you're gonna do what to do. So diba, all you need is just focus on this. So -6. So here's the -6 and -1. Here's it. So there is it. So ngano ni siya, because the dot on the horizontal line is point through to the horizontal line is pointing to the -1, right? So it's pointing to -1. That's why the domain number is -6 and -1. Okay? So that's how you're gonna find the domain is. So how about the range? 1 and 5. So here's you're gonna do it. So this is the domain, right? And this is the range, which is the value of y. So just all you need to do is just focus on this line, because this is the range value of y, obviously. So the answer is 1 and 5. Why is it not 1 and 5? Why is it 1? Why is it 1 while this dot is pointing on -6? So here's you gonna do it. So 5, diba? 5. Then why is it 1? Because on this line, through pointing on the number 1. Okay? So through pointing on this number 1. So that's why it's 1 and 5. Okay? So here another example here. So our domain is 1 and 5. So domain, this, just focus on this, just 1. So here's the 1. It's pointing the dot on the 1 and the 5. So that's how So that's the domain of this example of on this graph. How about the range? So range, this this line value of y, just focus on this 1. So this, so 1, why is it 1? Because it's pointing on the number 1 of this line, through this line. And so in the this other, this other dot is pointing to 4. That's why it's 1 and 4. So that's how you're gonna find the domain and range on the graph. Let's move to the next example, the equation. So we have here x squared plus y equals 8. Find the domain, solve the y. So the x squared are being transferred to the right side next to positive 8. Okay, so how do we find the value of x? All you're gonna need to do is you're gonna arrange it first. We're being transferred for the right side to positive 8, and then here, so let x equals 1, and then y equals 8 minus the squared, the imaginary one here, right? So that's 1, the imaginary one, and 1 squared, so multiply by itself. So like, so 1 times 1 equals 1, and then bring down the 8. So and then minus the answer of this, multiply, so 1, and then lastly is you're gonna minus 8. So that's why it's y equals 7. Okay, so let's proceed to another example. So x squared plus y equals 8. Some process of our is just the same process of our previous example. So the x squared is transferred to the right side after the 10, positive 10. So here's, you're gonna solve it. So let x equals to y equals 10 minus 2 squared, and 2 squared, the x, and then you're gonna multiply by itself. So 2 times 2 equals 4. So bring down the 10, and then minus the answer of this, which is 4, and lastly you're gonna minus 8. 10 minus 4 is equals to 6. Therefore the domain is x such that x is the element of the real numbers. So let's proceed to the other example. To find the domain, solve for y. So x squared, that's x squared, sir. X squared plus y equals 10. Same process of our previous example. So the y is transferred to the right after the positive 10. So x, so that's x is equal to positive or negative square root of minus y. So 10 minus y is greater than or equal to 0. So therefore must be y. So y is such that y is greater than or equal to 10. So that's for today's video. Thanks for watching and goodbye.